ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
10:54 on the Mark Arum Show, monitoring the narco boat attacks in the Caribbean. CBS News learned about a new narco substrike, and multiple sources say President Trump's been presented plans for a possible land strike in Venezuela. CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson has more.
Earlier this week, there was a meeting at the White House where the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the top U.S. military officer, presented President Trump with options for Venezuela, including land strikes. That meeting comes as the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, and its escort ships are headed to join the growing armada already off of the coast of Venezuela.
Operations now called Operation Southern Spear. Stefano Pozzebon is in Caracas this morning.
I think that the value of the exchange that we had with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro yesterday here in Caracas is not on the message that he said, not what he said, because we have heard this type of speech, these messages of peace towards the United States before, but it's the fact that he was out on the street and surrounded by, frankly, regular people, regular Venezuelans and the supporters of his government. The exchange was in a march just outside the Miraflores Presidential Palace. I was able to ask him what is his message for President Trump. Take a listen.
What is your message to the people of the United States, President?
To unite for the peace of the continent. No more endless wars, no more unjust wars, no more Libya, no more Afghanistan.
Do you have a message for President Trump?
My message is yes, peace. Yes, peace.
I think that it's important to highlight the context of that exchange. Maduro is not only the sitting head of state here in this country, but he is also, according to the White House accuses him of being the leader of a narco-trafficking cartel, and they even put a $50 million bounty on his head just a few months ago. For months, we have seen, especially we have heard from the White House, messages of Maduro being afraid, of Maduro being willing to negotiate. I think that yesterday's message from him was frankly a loud catch me, come and get me. I'm here in Caracas surrounded by my people. He didn't want to show that he is afraid just as much as somebody in the White House perhaps wants him to be. And that is why it was so important, I think, for him to be seen outside, of the presidential palace for, I think, the first time in a few months, and the first time that he accepted questions from journalists since this new deployment of warships from the United States began up until 3 months ago.
Stefano Pozzebon in Caracas this morning. Clear and present danger, part due. 10:57 on the Mark Arum Show. News, weather, and traffic in under 3. When we come back, government shutdown over. When will travel get back to normal? Travel expert Peter Greenberg joining us live. Social media is up and at 'em, including an amazingly cute picture of Ashley Frasca's dog Mia in my Instagram story at Mark Arum, MarkArum.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Findlay Roofing. The Roof guys are proud to support Clark's Christmas Kids again this year. Findlay will donate at least $15,000 to Clark's Christmas Kids. Time to replace your roof? Please think of Findlay first. FindlayRoofing.com.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to Settlements and Verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm so excited to hear my son's band play tonight. They've been... Sorry, be right back. They've been rehearsing, bathroom break. Overactive bladder can mean missing out on life's moments, navigating life around the nearest bathroom instead of the next experience. Medtronic therapies have treated nearly 500,000 people worldwide with bladder or bowel control problems. Let Medtronic show you what's possible. Visit medtronic.com/bladderhelp to learn how.
2 homes, same block, one sold for way more because they used Orchard. Move first, skip the stress, and sell for top dollar. Don't wait. Get your free home valuation now at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. We do have breaking news in case you're just joining us. A new prosecutor now in the Fulton County election interference case against President Trump. Pete Skandalakis, the head of the state agency with the job of naming a replacement prosecutor, takes the case after nobody else wanted it. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien joining us live now with reaction. Jonathan?
Yeah, Sabrina, the decision was reached after careful and deliberate consideration, according to Pete Skandalakis, director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council. Former Gwinnett County District Attorney Danny Porter served as chair of the council twice and says it was going to be tough for him to find an outside replacement because most offices don't have the resources for a case this size. He says Skandalakis will likely have to consider some changes to the case.
Because he can't really go after Trump right now, I think he's got to start tactically. He's got to start picking off some of the low-lying fruit, I think, in a more effective way than they did in Fulton County.
Porter says the council will also have to answer some key questions about funding. Skandalakis says they are reviewing the evidence to see how they will proceed. Reporting live, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. Your weather for today is going to be beautiful, sunny and warm, highs around 73. Your weekend looks pretty good, too, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Well, now that the government shutdown is over, Rachel Scott reporting this morning, those who rely on SNAP benefits are starting to see their accounts get replenished.
For the 42 million Americans who rely on these SNAP benefits, right, many of them have already started to see payments start to flow to them. The rest of the Americans that haven't gotten it yet will start to see payments start to flow throughout the rest of the weekend.
And the Georgia Department of Human Services saying that those who received only partial SNAP benefits in November will get the rest of them next week on the 18th, which is next Tuesday. Over 126,000 Toyota vehicles are cited over engine concerns.
Toyota is recalling certain 2022 to 2024 Tundra, Lexus RX, and GX models equipped with a certain type of engine, as debris from the manufacturing process may contaminate the engine and cause the main bearings to fail. It could result in an engine stall or a loss of drive power.
And Alex Stone reports that the recall indicates that at higher speeds, there is also the increased risk of a crash. Toyota says that a repair will be available when a fix is determined. Also, some Jeeps are under recall, about 113,000, because they may have sand in the engine. It could cause the engine to fail or fire. 3 injuries have been reported. This recall impacting the 2023 through 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe and the Jeep Wrangler 4xe plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. Owners are urged to park those vehicles as they look for a fix. Emory University finishing a major on-campus acquisition.
The university's purchased the Eggleston Hospital site off Clifton Road, which was home to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta for years. Children's moved to the new Arthur M. Blank Hospital on North Druid Hills Road last year. The university says it plans to demolish the 2 buildings on the site, but will retain the 840-space underground parking garage. Demolition's expected to take up to a year and a half. Officials haven't said what they plan to do with that space in the long term. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
A new survey today warns that the next year's job market for college graduates is going to be a rough one.
More than half of the 183 companies polled by the National Association of Colleges and Employers rated the job market for the class of 2026 as poor or fair. That's the worst outlook since the pandemic began. Companies say economic uncertainty has them hiring more conservatively. Plus, they have AI doing entry-level jobs.
And Michael Wallace says college graduates also face competition from recently laid-off workers who are back in the pool looking for work. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is currently down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ's in positive territory slightly, and the S&P is in the red. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good Friday morning, Sabrina, and some good news up in Marietta. Crash, it was in two left lanes, has cleared to the left shoulder, 75 northbound, Highway 5, exit 267. Hopefully that'll help out that ride that's been slow back before South Marietta Parkway. Got some police activity in DeKalb County, 285 westbound, the Interloop, Flat Shoals, exit 48, right lane block there. You're slowing from I-20. And if you're traveling in DeKalb County, don't forget Turner Hill Road still shut down just north of I-20 at Covington Highway with that earlier train versus truck crash. So plan your alternates such as Lithonia Industrial Boulevard, Panola Road, Evans Mill, some other options there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies through the course this afternoon, warming up to a high of 73. Clear and cool this evening, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, even warmer, high 76. A few clouds moving through on Sunday, highs in the low 70s.
We have 62 degrees right now in Winder and Clarkston. Dunwoody has 61 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
11:05 on a fantastically beautiful Friday morning here in Atlanta. Hat tip to WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards, bringing the gorgeousness here to the metro area in North Georgia. That is the silver lining for yours truly, Mark Arum. This is the Mark Arum Show with you till noon, because I was supposed to be in New York City this morning celebrating my wife's birthday weekend in the Big Apple, but we made the adult decision. My wife made the adult decision on Wednesday to cancel the trip because of the flight uncertainty due to the government shutdown. I briefly talked about this with travel expert Peter Greenberg last week. Peter, welcome back to the show. We canceled the trip, my friend. We didn't go through with it.
Well, you know what? I understand why. Those flight cuts are still in effect and will be at least through Monday or Tuesday of next week. So it's going to be a while before they get back on track fully, but they will be in time for Thanksgiving. That's nice news to hear.
I let Maya make the decision. It was her birthday week. This was all about her, and she was worried that we wouldn't get a flight back on Sunday, and she has to be at work at Monday. And she said, if I'll be in New York for the weekend, and I'll be worried about the whole time. I won't enjoy myself, so we decided to cancel it. Our flight last night did get out of Atlanta, Peter, but it was 3 hours delayed getting to LaGuardia.
Remember, we're still predicated on getting back on track to the idea of when the air traffic controllers are going to get back to work, at basically much more strong staffing levels. But I got to remind everybody, we were short 3,500 controllers before the shutdown. So that's a problem we haven't fixed yet.
Correct.
And that's a long-term problem that needs to be addressed.
All right, as things get back to normal, we still have those flight restrictions. I think it's 6% today. A lot of folks have Thanksgiving travel plans, Peter. Do we think, are we optimistic by Thanksgiving things will starting to get settled down at least?
Yes, they won't get back to quote-unquote normal, but yes, they will get settled down. Once the controllers are back to work, it'll take the airlines and the airports between 36 and 72 hours to get their planes back in sequence, their flight crews back on schedule, and then we're off and running to the races. The smart travelers, though, are getting out of town on the Thursday or Friday before Thanksgiving. They're not waiting for the following week. That's terrible. Remember, they made a movie called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles to celebrate the people who want to fly on that Wednesday. But for those people who think that the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is the worst day to travel this year, think again. The worst day will be the Sunday after, November 30th. That's the day you want to avoid, whether you're traveling by car or by air. Try to come back Tuesday or Wednesday following it, because everybody has this not exactly original idea to come back on that Sunday.
Looking at FlightAware right now, delays into Hartsfield-Jackson International, 77. Cancellations, 53, which is still a significant number, but certainly lower than we had it last week.
Oh, yeah, and that number will continue to go down as more and more controllers get back to work. Remember, it's all predicated on the capacity they can handle based on the number of controllers who are actually on the job.
Travel expert Peter Greenberg joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. I wanted to ask you this question. It popped in my head last hour on the show. Sean Duffy, Transportation Secretary, obviously putting in the flight limitations at the 40 busiest airports around the country, including the world's busiest here in Atlanta. Did those flight restrictions, Peter, did they just cover commercial, or did they also cover transport air like UPS planes, FedEx planes, United States Postal Service planes?
My understanding, it was mostly commercial passenger planes where they were cutting back the capacity. But interestingly enough, they allowed the airlines to pick the flights they were going to cancel because it wasn't about the number of passengers in the air. It's about the number of airplanes in the air. And let's not forget that a 737 takes up as much radar space as a 777 or an A350. So most of the cancellations at most of the airlines were on their smaller aircraft.
So what if it is the airline's choice, and I'll just personalize it again. So our return flight from LaGuardia to Atlanta this Sunday was scheduled, I don't know, I think it was at noon. And on the Delta app, you can see how many empty seats were on the flight. And there were 90 empty seats on the plane. Did that make that plane more likely or less likely to be canceled knowing it was not half full?
The airlines would tell you I'm making this all up, but the answer is when they perform the triage, you know, if the flight's completely empty, it's got a very high likelihood of being canceled.
That's what I thought, but I also then thought, well, there's so many empty seats, Delta might, cancel the 9 a.m. flight and bump those folks to the noon flight where there are so many empty seats.
They would do that, but it's based on where those people on the 9 o'clock flight were connecting. If they were all connecting, then they're not going to push them on a later flight because they'd miss the connections.
I talked about this last week too, Peter. You weren't on the air, but I remember years ago we went down and I got a behind-the-scenes tour of the Delta flight operations. And this was, in the infancy of the internet when I saw the nuts and bolts of logistically how they were able to handle that. It's remarkable to me that they can, that they were able to do that pre-internet and computers, just by hand, like where are the flights coming in from and who's got a transfer in Akron, and it's remarkable that they were able to do that back in the Stone Ages.
You know what? The operations guys at Delta and American United, they were working on some pretty big jigsaw puzzles without the aid of algorithms or any other kind of computer programs. Now it's a little bit easier to perform that triage, but it's still remarkable to see what they can do.
I'm just picturing a 67-year-old man or woman at the Delta flight ops, telling the Gen Zers working there, you wouldn't believe what we did back in 1982 when we had to rebook flights. It's so much easier now.
But you know something, Mark? If you go to some air traffic control towers today, they're still moving airplanes around using strips of paper.
Yeah, it's and that was one of the big things too. Not only the lack of folks that are trained and ready to go in air traffic controllers, but the antiquated mechanical systems and computer systems that we have in these towers.
Oh yeah, it's a little scary. And the FAA has been talking about next generation equipment for 4 generations. They've never fixed that problem, and it's not just about the money that they have to invest. They have to change the federal procurement rules. If I want to put a new system in right now under federal rules, I got to put out an RFP. We got to go into a committee meeting that we never leave. Then we have to find the budget. Then we have to spend it and order it. Then they got to build it. Then they have to install it. Then we have to train people to do it. By the time all of that happens, it's already antiquated.
I do have to give credit to our hometown airlines, Delta. When I did cancel the trip, went on the app, canceled it, and I had bought this ticket with Sky Miles. Immediate reimbursement, no cancellation fee. Delta took. I guess Delta understands. Ed Bastian understands. Hey, these are difficult times with the government shutdown, so there was no problem. I'm assuming other large carriers are handling it similarly.
They are. They put into place different refund protocols during this shutdown. Some of them are already in place. Remember, if an airline cancels your flight for any reason whatsoever, you're due an immediate refund in full to your original form of payment. If you cancel the flight, that's when you get the credit, or in your case, the redeposit of the miles back to your account.
Yeah, canceled the hotel. The only thing I didn't cancel, by the way, Peter, you were invited to dinner Saturday night at Uncle Lou's in Chinatown. I'm going to have to call and cancel that reservation. Peter, where are you now? Where are you heading next, buddy?
Just landed here in Miami from your favorite city of Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, and then heading out to Tampa, Amarillo, Texas, and Bucharest. How about that for a flight connection?
Ooh, what's going on in Bucharest?
We're actually developing one of our new television shows for PBS on Romania.
Co-hosted by Mark Arum with Peter Greenberg. No?
Exactly.
Not going to happen.
Those miles.
Not going to happen. Yeah, exactly. Peter, you're such an invaluable resource, my friend. Safe travels. Always a pleasure to talk travel with you, buddy.
You got it, Mark.
There you go. I got to cancel that reservation, Deborah. Table for 11 at Uncle Lou's in Chinatown. I was so looking forward to that. I memorized the menu.
Wow.
The China.
Have you ever been there?
To Uncle Lou's or
Yeah.
Chinatown?
To Uncle Lou's.
No, I've never been to Uncle Lou's. I know. You've been.
I've never been there, but I've heard it's nice.
I speaking quickly of Chinese restaurants. Remember the other day, a couple weeks ago, we had David Danzigan talking about the new Michelin star, and he said that the Chinese joint on Howell Mill got Michelin recommended.
Yeah. You're going?
Well, I thought it was this takeout joint next to the Firestone Tire place. And I was like, what? That's a hole in the wall. Holy cat. Like, it blew my mind. I was thinking of the wrong China. This is like a fancy Chinese restaurant down further on Howell Mill. I blew my mind. I'm like, this mom and pop hole in the wall is Michelin. This is a fancier Chinese restaurant. Anyway, now I'm craving Chinese. Ooh, you want to go to the buffet?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to that Chinese buffet after.
Nice.
See if Drip wants to go.
All right.
Colby won't go unless they put shredded cheese on the
and
on the Kung Pao
peppercorn.
chicken. Yeah. All right. Speaking of Thanksgiving travel, more people are deciding to stay home for the holidays this year, Deborah.
Yeah, they've done a survey, and it looks like Americans just aren't going to be taking that trip. A lot of it is just financial worries. They've had to cut their budget down about 18%, and this is because of the things that have been happening. The tariffs eating into things, the increase in grocery costs. So they're just saying, you know what, maybe just not make that trip this year. We're going to stay home. And for those that are traveling, they're probably doing what any Mexican family does: stay with their family, right? You just show up, sleep on the couch, sleep on the floor, whatever. 6 and 10 stay. They're going to drive instead of flying too.
Well,
to
that
save some
was
money.
my thing, because the gas is relatively inexpensive. That's one of the few things that's cheaper now than a year ago is gasoline. I just thought people would, just hit the roads instead, would drive to grandma's house as opposed to.
I think it depends on how many people you're driving and how far away it is.
I feel bad because I never go home for Thanksgiving. Not that it's a big deal in my house or anything like that.
But you go every Christmas.
I go
don't
every
you?
Christmas,
Yeah.
but I never have Thanksgiving. And my aunt and uncle always have this huge Friendsgiving thing the day after in New York, and I never get to go. But it's because I have PTSD about Thanksgiving travel. Like I'm so, and I've never done it, really. I can't remember traveling. I always stay here on Thanksgiving because I'm so scared about driving or flying on the Thanksgiving, because just, for years in the news at WSB Radio covering, 3-hour wait to get on through TSA security or massive traffic delays. So for some reason, I feel bad. Eventually, I'll go home to Connecticut for Thanksgiving. Right now, it's not, I'm missing that party, which I do wish I could go to. Aunt Judy has Aunt Judy and Uncle Michael have that the day after Thanksgiving party, which I'd never been to, and it looks like a blast. But there's something, it gives me agita just thinking about traveling on Thanksgiving. Yeah. All right, Peter Greenberg, he's phenomenal. All right, when we come back, it's 11:17 on the Mark Arum Show. When we come back, we are going to update our top local stories. Right now, however, the biggest loser in the fact that I had to cancel my New York trip is Alex Williams, because Alex, you and Kimberly were ready to house sit Soba for me.
We're always ready for Soba to come over. We're a little disappointed, but that's
My
okay.
apologies.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry, little guy.
We'll come by and visit her. Right now, Mark, we got some better news in Marietta. Still a little sluggish, but the crash has cleared out of travel lanes. 75 northbound, Highway 5, exit 267. Lingering delays back to Delk Road should start to improve. Still got this EMS and police activity on the southeast leg of the perimeter. 285 westbound, the Interloop Flat Shoals, exit 48. That is in the right lane. And the train versus truck crash cleanup continues out in Lithonia. Covington High or Turner Hill Road shut down near Covington Highway, so plan your alternates accordingly there. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
The way you should live your life is look at the way they're doing it at D.C. and then just run.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
Other people are getting away with it, so you should get away with it.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
Well, your best day ever would have been a Tuesday. Who knows?
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Grade A frozen Butterball whole turkeys are 99 cents a pound with your card and additional $25 purchase. Limit 2. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Don't wear 4 sweatshirts at home this winter because your old furnace isn't up to snuff. Get a brand new one thanks to my pals at Reliable. Hey, it's Mark Arum with you. Check this amazing offer going on right now. Any size furnace, just $59.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. ReliableAir.com, book an appointment or call or text 770-594-9969.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Well, Chris, as you know, time just keeps on ticking. We're putting another year under our belt, so it seems like a really good time to take stock of our financial lives and put together that plan that's built to last.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
I'm so excited to hear my son's band play tonight. They've been... sorry, be right back. They've been rehearsing... bathroom break. Overactive bladder can mean missing out on life's moments, navigating life around the nearest bathroom instead of the next experience. Medtronic therapies have treated nearly 500,000 people worldwide with bladder or bowel control problems. Let Medtronic show you what's possible. Visit medtronic.com/bladderhelp to learn how.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Hey, did you hear that Florida just legalized gold and silver? Yep, my new home state, the free state of Florida, has made it legal to use gold and silver as money. Now, Governor DeSantis explained it all by saying, this is our ability to give you the financial freedom to be able to protect yourself against the declining value of the dollar. This is exactly why I partnered with a top precious metals company myself. If you want to learn more about how gold and silver can help protect your money, if you want to inform yourself, do your due diligence, reach out to my partners at Goldco. They're a great company. I'm a customer. They've helped me out tremendously. Check them out on the web, HannityGold.com, or call, no obligation, 855-815-GOLD. Get their free 2025 gold and silver kit. You'll also learn about their unlimited bonus silver offer. That's 855-815-GOLD or HannityGold.com. That's HannityGold.com.
That's the sound of war, drones attack, Russia, Ukraine, major escalation. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show at 11:23. Ukraine's president denouncing as wicked an overnight attack by Russia, CBS's Rami Inocencio has more.
This is one of Russia's biggest overnight aerial attacks on Ukraine so far since 2022, when the war restarted. 430 Russian drones, along with 18 Russian missiles. That is what President Zelensky said his country has had to deal with overnight across its central, eastern, and southern regions.
Vladimir Putin's not dumb. Right, he might be evil. He might be a dictator. He might, be a former KGB torturer, but he's not dumb. All he has to do is turn on the news and be like, "Oh, all right, the U.S. has their hands full. They're attacking narco ships in Venezuela. We get the Epstein files. The government's been shut down. They're worried about Israel and Hamas. And think about that, by the way, Deborah. We haven't even talked about that in weeks. The ceasefire deal is still holding. That's miraculous. Amen. Hallelujah." But Vladimir Putin's like, oh, all right, I'm just going to, increase my attacks on Ukraine because, America's got their hands full right now. Need an end to that war as soon as possible. All right, Deborah, I mentioned earlier in the week, I was dubious that those Chinese astronauts were ever going to come home, that they were probably dead already. I was wrong on that. Apparently, the Chinese astronauts are set to return home.
Well, China is preparing to rescue those 3 astronauts that have been stuck in the Tiangong space station.
Well done.
I think so. I don't speak Chinese, so I'm just guessing. They were stuck there because they think that space junk hit their capsule and they haven't been able to return. So now their version of NASA, which is China Manned Space Agency, they're saying that the astronauts are okay. They've been able to check in with them. They're doing good, and they're working with engineers to see if the capsule they have up there is going to be able to bring them back to Earth. So they're at least in preparation stages. They don't have any definite, they're coming back on this day
Allegedly.
That's what Chinese NASA says.
It was like space debris that hit their spaceship, their capsule. And, as you mentioned, you saw gravity. That's not good. That's usually game over. That's why I was like, no, we're never going to hear the truth. I want verification that those astronauts return home safely. Not just a couple of actors that they prance out and be like, yeah, they came home. Because I'm still dubious that I hope, obviously, that they're still alive and they get home. But all right, would I rather be an astronaut or ride a burro down the Grand Canyon?
Burro.
Yeah, I'm going to go burro. I'm going to go burro as well. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, we're going to update our top local stories, including the story we've been telling you about all morning long, Emory buying Eggleston. I've got some opinions on that, some memories of Eggleston Hospital, and the latest on the Epstein emails, not the files, the emails. Getting some more news out of D.C. on that. Social media up and active at Mark Airman at WSB Radio.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers with my dad, Mike. And Dad, how do you know you've got the right gift before you give it?
You get it at D. Geller & Son. We've been helping Atlanta get it right since 1939 with real jewelry experts to walk you through Atlanta's best selection.
Whether it's silver and diamond stocking stuffers for $95, diamond hoops for $13.95, or one-of-a-kind showstoppers.
For the best selection, best quality, and best value,
trust D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sell your home with Mark Spain Real Estate and get the strongest cash offer in the industry. You'll save time, make the most money, and eliminate all the hassle. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
The Atlanta Symphony Orchestra warmly invites you to revel in the joy of the season at the Coca-Cola Holiday Concerts. Enjoy beloved carols, hymns, orchestral favorites, and more. Starting December 11th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Main Street Auto. This just in: the man accused of threatening to shoot up Hartsfield-Jackson International last month pleads not guilty in federal court. Billy Joe Cagle was stopped at the airport by police and federal agents October 20th. They found an AR-style rifle, 27 rounds of ammunition in his truck. Family and friends say that Cagle made calls to them while on the way to the airport, saying he planned to shoot at cars and then at the airport. In court today, Cagle maintained his innocence. All right, your weather for today. It's going to be beautiful. Sunny, afternoon highs around 73, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. In case you're just joining us, there is a new prosecutor in the Fulton County election interference case against President Trump. Pete Skandalakis, the head of the state agency with the job of naming a replacement prosecutor, after District Attorney Fonnie Willis was disqualified, said he couldn't find another attorney willing to take over the racketeering case, so he's taking it himself. He had until today to make a decision. In an email, he said that several prosecutors declined to take the case. And from President Trump's Georgia lawyer, Steve Sadow, he just saying today that, quote, we remain confident that a fair and impartial review will lead to a dismissal of the case against President Trump. Federal workers are back on the job now and will start getting their back pay since the government shutdown is over. Rachel Scott has more.
We know some impacts of this shutdown are going to linger for just a little while longer, but we've been talking about these federal workers, right? So many of them furloughed during this shutdown. They are going to start to receive back pay over the course of the next few days.
And SNAP benefits will also start back up. The U.S. is dropping its tariffs on some Latin American imports. Mike Wallace has more on that.
The Trump administration is eliminating tariffs on coffee and bananas from Ecuador, beef from Argentina, and certain textile and apparel from Guatemala and El Salvador. The administration is looking for ways to lower the prices on consumer goods that aren't grown in the U.S. Coffee prices have jumped 19% this year. Bananas are up 7%.
And the tariffs on other products from those countries will remain at 10 or 15%. Researchers say that they have developed a test that can now help doctors make an earlier and more accurate diagnosis of a sometimes debilitating disease.
Lyme disease can cause joint, heart, and nervous system complications. Early treatment is crucial, but antibody tests used now often show false negatives during the first few weeks of infection. In a breakthrough, researchers at the Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center in New Hampshire have developed a molecular test that they believe will help detect the disease faster.
And Christopher Cruz reports Lyme disease has been on the rise in the U.S. for the past 30 years. And might be a good day to grab a lottery ticket. Somebody could walk away with almost $1 billion from tonight's Mega Millions drawing. The jackpot now at $965 million. That comes with a cash option of over $445 million. Meanwhile, tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is worth $546 million with a cash value of $255 million. All right, let's see how your investments are working for you. The Dow right now is down 199 at 47,257, so the Dow's down almost 0.5%. NASDAQ is up more than 0.5%, and the S&P is also in the green. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams, how are we doing on the roads?
Not too good. Southeast leg of the perimeter, Sabrina. The earlier trouble spot, 285 westbound, the inner loop at Flat Shoals, exit 48, that's cleared. Now we have a travel advisory, 285 and northbound, the outer loop at I-20, exit 46. A couple couple of tractor trailers and 2 right lanes. You're going to quickly jam up back toward Boulder Crest Road. Use I-20 eastbound as an alternate. And still some brake lights through Marietta, 75 northbound. As you head up toward Highway 5, where an earlier crash still sits on the left shoulder there at exit 267. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Blue skies and sunshine today, warming up to a high of 73. Temperatures falling to the mid-40s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny, high 76. A few clouds moving through on Sunday, breezy at times, high 73.
64 degrees in Marietta, at 65 in Covington. Roswell, you have 64 degrees. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News, hoping with Paws Atlanta to find a home for our dog of the month, Hawaiian Roll. That's his name. About 2, a mystery mix, can shake your hand already, perfect for any family, and he is looking for a new one. Meet him at WSBRadio.com/dog. Our sponsor, Finley Roofing, will pay the adoption fees. WSBRadio.com/dog.
This is information that has needed to come out for a very long time.
Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene discussing the Epstein files just out of D.C. President Trump wants the DOJ to investigate Democrats' ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Ooh, we'll get the latest on that next on the Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
If you need a furnace, think of Reliable with unbeatable lifetime warranty and only $59.99 a month. It's getting cold out there. Don't be a turkey this Thanksgiving. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Reliable Heating Air wants to keep you warm and feed you too with free Turkey Tuesday. Every Tuesday leading up to Thanksgiving, listen to my show for your chance to win a free Thanksgiving turkey courtesy of Reliable Heating and Air, the name Atlanta trusts when it's time to turn on the heat. Stay cozy, save energy, and keep your oven and your furnace cooking this holiday season. Visit reliableair.com to schedule your furnace check today.
Hey, do you recall when we had 5 straight years of supply chain issues with shortages of every medication that you actually needed? Well, it's still happening today. I've actually had the thought, there's got to be a better way to access my own life-supporting medication, and I can't wait to share this with you. I just met a doctor by the name of Sean Rowland who saw that the system was broken. It was bureaucratic. He wanted to simplify it. Now we have Jace Medical, and Jace is the new way of doing medicine. And with a Jace case, you'll have emergency prescription antibiotics before you need them so that you and your family will be prepared. It's fast, it's affordable, and it's incredibly easy. Simply go to jace.com, answer a few quick questions, and a licensed doctor will review your information in minutes. And once you're approved, your medication is going to be shipped directly to your door. Don't wait until it's too late. Get your Jace case now. Just go to jase.com. That's jase.com. Use the promo code Hannity for an exclusive discount.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on the Mark Arum Show. Big guests next week on the program, including Barry Manilow, Chris Matthews, Corbin Burnson. Wow, Deborah Yeoman.
Yeah, holiday stuff coming up.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Oh, I'm very excited to talk to Barry Manilow. I'm going to ask him about that time I didn't interrupt him at a Las Vegas restaurant. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. I do want to talk about that local story, Emory buying Eggleston Hospital. But this just popping out of D.C., obviously the never-ending story. We've been talking about the Epstein files, now the Epstein emails. President Trump now wants the Justice Department to investigate several Democrats' ties to Jeffrey Epstein. CBS's Michael Wallace has the story.
Post, Trump says he's asking Attorney General Pam Bondi and the FBI to investigate Epstein's relationships with former President Bill Clinton, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, and LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman. Next week, the House will vote on whether to compel the Justice Department to release all its Epstein files. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene told CBS Mornings Trump should not oppose the release.
I think it's a huge miscalculation.
She points out some of Epstein's victims have said Trump did nothing wrong. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Yeah, I mean, whoever's in there, whoever did something dastardly, Republican, Democrat, Independent, doesn't matter. We talked about yesterday, Deborah, the names in those emails. Like if you're emailing in 2019, 2018, or 2017, and you're email buddies with Jeffrey Epstein, sorry, Charlie. I don't know if there's any Charlies in there. Certainly not Charlie Thomas. I'm not insinuating that. That was just a phrase. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah, get it all out. Get it. I don't care. I've been saying for weeks, Bill Clinton is sweating right now. See, President Trump, yes, investigate Democrats. Investigate whomever might have been tied up in the most notorious sex trafficking ring of our lifetimes. Absolutely. The fact that he says that, maybe President Trump won't veto the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. One more quick thing on Epstein. Before that news broke, Elena Treen was at the White House on the White House reaction to the fact that it looks like the vote's going to pass the House to release the Epstein files.
Well, look, this is a story, Omar, that they just can't shake. Despite their best efforts to try and get everyone to move on from this, it is something that continues to haunt this White House. And part of the reason, look, I mean, in this reporting we have about Johnson giving the White House and the president a heads up that they thought this vote was going to pass and that he wanted to expedite it. I mean, some of the thinking behind that, of course, is that if this is going to happen at all, let's have it happen sooner rather than later, in part because we are all talking about it right now. The House Democrats had released that trove of documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate over the last 15 years. Of course, many of them mentioning Donald Trump by name. While it's out there in the conversation, why are they already facing so much political heat over this? Let's get that vote done with, right? And so in my conversations with people in the building behind me, Omar, there's, of course, this high level of frustration. They do not want to be talking about this. I note something that is very rare, that doesn't happen often at this White House, is the last two events that the president had since the only two events, I should say, since these emails were released. The president did not take questions, and he was shouted. I think in one of them he could clearly hear one of the reporters asking about his response to all of these emails, and he just did not engage. And so I think that's telling as well. And look, I think one of the big issues here is, of course, this is an area where his own party is breaking with him, or at least many people in the party are breaking with him very publicly on, and that is not something typical of the president's second term. Part of that is because these members, and we're hearing them from our conversations, our great Capitol Hill team having these talks with lawmakers down on the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, is that they are getting calls from their constituents who want this White House and want Congress to help make this White House and Trump administration more transparent here. And one of the most interesting things as well that I think we've heard from House Speaker Mike Johnson on this was this idea that, we already have all these documents from the Oversight Committee. All of that kind of makes this vote moot. His point was essentially saying we have so much material already, it doesn't really matter anymore. But if that was true, and I think this is one of the points that makes it so politically problematic for the White House, is then why are they still going through all of this trouble to try and suppress this vote from happening and blocking the Justice Department from being forced to release them? So all of that, of course, the White House still grappling with today, and will continue to do so at least until that vote, but I think further on from there as well.
So that was Elena Treen at the White House this morning. Earlier, before, we just got word that in a Truth Social post, the President Trump wants the DOJ to investigate Democrats that have ties to Jeffrey Epstein in those emails. Yes. The quicker we get this out in front of everybody, the quicker we can move on, and whoever did dastardly deeds should, and I hope will be held accountable. She mentioned Speaker Johnson, expedited vote on the House floor next week. We'll, of course, cover it here on 95.5 WSB. All right, to the local story. We haven't had a chance to talk about it. Deborah News has been covering it, though. Emory University buys Eggleston Hospital. What's the backstory on this? What's the intended use of the Eggleston facility?
Okay, well, obviously, you know, we have the new children's hospital that Arthur Blank was able to bankroll, and we've done our CHOA Carathon there, which was amazing. We got to see the hospital there. So now the Eggleston Hospital doesn't really need, Children's doesn't really need that space. So Emory is going to take over that space. It's not necessarily going to stay a hospital. They're going to demolish it and put up other buildings there. And they say they're just going to have that space for future needs. So it doesn't really say like if they're going to build a lab or new classrooms or anything like that.
Well, they're expanding. It's prime real estate over there.
Oh, yeah, for Emory, yeah.
Now, Scott Slade, if you're listening, hit me up on the Piccadilly text line. If I recall correctly, so the WSB Carathon, we just had our 25th annual, record-breaking, might I add, WSB Carathon. Thank you to all the generous listeners. But I believe the Carathon started back at that Eggleston facility. I know it was at Eggleston. I don't know if it was in one of the buildings that Emory just bought. But I have really fond memories. So you've been to the recent
the last two, and then we had some stuff here too.
Sure,
yeah.
But the one, it was really cool, the Eggleston one, because they had a studio built for us there, like an actual radio studio, and it was right adjacent to like the playroom in Eggleston. So we'd have kids that were playing video games. It was great. I remember I used to do in the early Carathons. I think a couple of years it was Tony Schiavone and myself. And we did like the midnight to 5 a.m. till Atlanta's Morning News from the hospital. So we were in the hospital midnight. I have great memories of that Eggleston Carathon. And Slade, if I'm wrong, if that's a different building, I know it was Eggleston near Emory, but it was that was where the Carathon started, and then we moved over to different various Children's Healthcare's got facilities everywhere. Now we're at the Arthur M. Blank facility, which is just, again, the most impressive building I have ever been to in my life. And Arthur Blank's behind two of the most impressive buildings I've ever been to. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium. When I have friends come out of town and we go to a concert or a football game or soccer, they are blown away.
Yeah, I've had people say, this is the nicest stadium I've ever been to. And I'm like, okay, it's just a stadium. But yeah.
It really is. World Cup coming soon, right?
Next summer.
Yeah. Did you get tickets?
They haven't gone to the public yet.
All right. But you're going to try to get... I'm not asking you for tickets.
I'm going to try to secure a handful, yes.
I'm going to try to secure a press pass.
If we could go down there, I told you my idea for what I want to do.
What do you want to do?
Scarves.
Oh, yeah. Mark Aram Show scarves, WSB Radio scarves.
Something.
Vinny Drip scarves.
We can do that.
Yeah. We'll get the designs. By the way, the WSB Mark Aram Show Christmas cards have been ordered. Ooh, I just got an email, Vinny. A package has arrived for me in the mailroom. Maybe it's the Christmas cards.
It could be.
Let's do that next week. We'll start the sign
don't
up.
email me now because I'm not going to save your name. Just letting you know that. I will not save your email or name, so just wait till next week.
Let's do the first batch on Monday.
Okay.
So if you want, it's free. There's nothing. Don't email Deborah before Monday.
I'm going to delete it.
But Monday morning, we will start the Mark Aram Show Christmas card giveaway. Oh, bam. Look at this. Piccadilly text line. Can I get the breaking news sounder, Longoria? Bing, bang, boom. I love that my colleagues are listening. First off, Boss Hog, Pete Spriggs texts. Yes, the first ones were at Eggleston. And then Scott Slade follows up. Yes, the Carathon started at Eggleston and the media playroom. All right, so my brain might be falling apart. I don't have deja vu anymore, but at least I remember the birthplace of the Carathon was at the Eggleston Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. That's where it all started. Thank you for the confirmation, Pete Spriggs and Scott Slade. All right, 11:47 on the Mark Aram Show. Let's go. A beneficiary of the WSB Carathon, leukemia survivor, and the greatest traffic reporter between 11 and noon in the world. It's Alex Williams.
I appreciate it, buddy. Big fan of the Carathon for sure. And got some good news in DeKalb County. The earlier big rig crash, 285 east or northbound, the outer loop, just before the I-20 ramps, exit 46. That's been moved all to the side, so hopefully those delays from Boulder Crest Road will start to shake out. Trouble heading into Midtown. Crash 85 southbound below the Georgia 400 merge. That sits in the center lane. Some brake lights filling in behind that. And you're also seeing a a few delays up into Marietta where that earlier crash was on the left shoulder, 75 northbound at Highway 5, exit 267. Tapping the brakes as you leave Delk Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The shutdown is over.
It's a vote of 222 to 209, and the House passes a measure that will end the longest government shutdown in this nation's history.
With votes on healthcare subsidies and tax credits coming,
Could we be facing another shutdown in
The
January?
legislation does not include the extension to the Affordable Care Act tax credit.
if you have questions,
Trust us to get the answers as Washington gets back to work.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Some friends one time sent my wife and me Omaha steaks for Christmas, and they sent it to our old house. We had moved out of it and not yet sold it. Went to the house. I could smell the steak before I saw it. Didn't know who sent it to me. Called Omaha Steaks. Not only did they send me a brand new package to my house, they told me who had sent it to me so I could send a thank you note. It was incredible customer service. And I've been sending gifts from Omaha Steaks because how great their customer service is ever since. You can get the Sizzle All the Way sale right now, 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com, and you get an extra $35 off with promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, at checkout. You can get incredible options. My wife began her love affair of caramel apple tartlets with that package. Omaha Steaks sent to us. You can too. Get the fillets, get the New York strips. omahasteaks.com, 50% off right now. The Sizzle All the Way sale, $35 off extra with promo code ERIC at checkout. Minimum order required. omahasteaks.com.
You're building a deck or adding a room, that's wonderful. But if you skip hiring an architect trying to save money, well, the builder's going to need drawings anyway. They're going to hire an architect regardless and mark up their fees to you. That's why it's smarter to start your project at Sketchhouse. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. At Sketchhouse, we'll make sure your plans are code and zoning compliant, they'll be creative, and they will look great. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
Don't delay peace of mind. At Ace Hardware Home Services, we make it easier to upgrade your heating, cooling, or plumbing with flexible financing options. Whether it's a new HVAC system or a major plumbing job, our licensed pros get the job done right with payment plans to fit your budget. Call 770-233-7787 or visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to schedule your free estimate. Ace Hardware Home Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Have a stress-free Thanksgiving that's sure to impress. Hey, it's Mark Aram here for my friends at Publix. Just heat and serve a traditional feast that are going to leave your guests loving it. Includes a whole turkey, cooked, old-fashioned cornbread dressing, Yukon Gold mashed potatoes, cranberry orange relish, marshmallow delight, gravy. Serves 8 people, and the price for the meal, just $69.99. That's less than $10 per person. Amazing meal from my amazing friends at Publix.
I don't serve for the recognition. I serve the flag. The red, white, and blue, that means everything to me. And when I fly it, I know it stands for something real. My name is Megan Terry, and I serve in the U.S. Army, which is why I choose Collins flags. Because every Collins American and military flag is made here in the USA, stitched with pride and built to last. And they support veterans like me because they know what these flags really mean. So if you love our service members and our country like I do, fly a flag that honors them and supports American jobs. Visit collinsflags.com today. American made, proudly waved.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfield. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings Wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hey there, this is Patrick Warburton, and you are listening to The Mark Arum Show, who, by the way, stole my Jesus fish.
Happy 61st birthday, frequent Mark Arum Show guest, Patrick Warburton, Putty from Seinfeld. One other celebrity birthday, King Charles turns 77 today.
I, Charles, Prince of Wales, do become your liege man of life and limb, and of earthly worship.
He was invested as Prince of Wales at the age of 20 back, he was born November 14th, 1948. How much, he has cancer, right? Doesn't he have cancer, Deborah, King Charles?
It's reported that he's had cancer, but I think he's doing okay.
All right, King Charles, well, he kicked his brother out of the house. Stripped him of his titles.
Yeah. Talk about sibling rivalry.
All right, so King Charles has not been on the show. Patrick Warburton has not been on the show. Also, never appearing on the show.
There's not a day goes by I don't feel regret. Not because I'm in here, because you think I should.
The most recognizable voice on the planet is one Morgan Freeman, and he is not happy with AI, Deborah.
Yeah, he's very upset about AI basically recreating and stealing his voice and being able to use it for anything else. He says, I'm an actor too. I got to work. Don't mimic me with falseness. And he's caught a bunch of people using AI versions of his voice. So he says his lawyers are very, very busy with suits against all of those fake Morgan Freemans, basically. And he is very much against AI in Hollywood. He's joined like a group of people to kind of not use it in Hollywood.
We didn't get to the story yesterday, but Matthew McConaughey signed some deal that AI's like, he's basically getting paid. Like, hey,
he's literally giving his voice. And, go ahead, use
he
me.
sold it.
Yes.
But Morgan Freeman, I mean, there should be a lawsuit. There should be some sort of protection for personal use of likeness or voice.
I mean, I think there is for like images and things, but AI is so new still that they're coming up with new ways to use it. So they really don't know how to stop it.
That being said, I do love the way AI translates my Instagram reels into Spanish and Turkish now or whatever else.
Turkish, really?
I think that's really cool because it sounds like me speaking Spanish, which is crazy. But other than that, don't use my name. Don't use my voice. Don't use my likeness. I'm not Morgan Freeman, but.
Longoria's fact of the day.
No, you're not. Today is National Pickle Day, and they have history date back to 2400 BC, and they were crucial for preventing scurvy on long sea voyages, and were believed to have been eaten by historical figures like Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. You're a pickle snob, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. But I'm just thinking National Pickle Day should be a Jewish holiday. Why am I working on National Pickle Day?
True.
You technically did have the day off. You did choose to come in, so you could have taken the day off.
I am going to start, if elected, I am going to push for National Pickle Day to be a Jewish religious holiday.
Okay.
No one has embraced the pickle more than the Jews. We love the pickles. I am a pickle snob. The only detraction I have with my two beloved Southern establishments, Waffle House and Chick-fil-A, are the other pickles. Their pickle selection.
Best pickle in Atlanta.
Who has the best pickle in Atlanta? It might be Ted's.
Really?
Ted's Montana
that
Grill?
One?
Wow.
Yeah. And it's all you can
It's
eat.
closer to a cucumber to me.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a
They're
fan.
not bad. When I think of Pinkle.
I'm just angling for Ted's to bring us in more food. But no, I love the he says heard. I love the Ted's pickles. Next year, Deborah, I'm off on National Pickle Day. All right, first off, before the show even started, Ashley Frasca and her adorable dog, Mia. Oh, my God, what a cute Great Dane. How can a 200-pound dog be cute? She's cute.
She is cute.
She's up on my Instagram account, at Mark Arum, in my story. So Ashley and Mia. How about late stars of the show? Pete Spriggs, Scott Slade. Deborah with the one-liner of the show. Phenomenal. Exotic bunny dancing name. That was great. Let's see. Nancy Cortez was really good from CBS, as were Bill Crane and Peter Greenberg. All right, Barry Manilow, Corbin Burnson, among other notable guests next week on the show. I'll be active and in Atlanta over the weekend at Mark Arum, MarkArum on the socials. Stay safe.